I welcome you all to this one-week course for the LSAT India. Today, we are seeing AR2, which is the second lesson on analytical reasoning. And therefore, before you see this lesson, I'd recommend that you saw AR1 first and then came and saw AR2. Anyway, now let's proceed with the lesson. In part 1, I had discussed some principles that apply to analytical reasoning questions in general, and we'd also solved one set of problems. So I'd recommend that you watch that video before you saw this one by clicking the I button here. You can see the part 1. Also, for the sake of comfort, I will quickly repeat a few points that you need to know for solving analytical reasoning questions. The first is that you only look at the material that is given within the problem. Do not use your external knowledge. That's the first point. The second thing is that in the question, when you have the question, so you have basically some set of rules which are followed by around 5 questions, right? So these principles or these rules which are given in the beginning are common to all of the questions, which means that these rules apply to each of these questions. But if there is a condition that is given, say in this question, this condition will not apply to the next one, right? So the conditions that are given at the top are common, whereas the conditions given within the question are peculiar to that question alone. They apply to that question alone. Now let's go and have a look at today's set of problems. Alright, so today's set of questions has also been taken from the prep test 1 that is available on the official LSAT India website www.discoverlaw.in. This is section 1, which is basically the section on analytical reasoning, and we are studying question numbers 6 to 10 today. Alright, so I'd advise you at this point to pause the video and try solving the question by your own self before listening to my explanation. So the question is quite clear here. Take a moment, try solving it, and only then should you listen to my explanation. So I hope you have given it an attempt. Now we will solve these together. We'll start by trying to make some sense of these lines which are common to all of the questions. These are the common rules, the general rules. Okay. So as you can see, it talks of 3 films: Gambhir, Haseen and Lehenga. And then in the film festival that is held on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Okay. It says that each film is shown at least once during the festival, which means that during these 3 days, each of the films is shown at least once, which means that in these 3 days, definitely at least once you've seen each of these 3 movies. That's the first thing that you learn from here. Next, it says then on each day, at least one film is shown, which means that there is no such day where there is no movie. That's not possible. At least one film is shown every single day. It also says that no given movie is shown more than once, which means let's say we take Friday. On Friday, you cannot have 2 shows of Gambhir or you cannot have 2 shows of Haseen. You can only have one film being shown once. Now, at this point, we need to represent this diagrammatically, right? We need to make a kind of table for ourselves. Now, how do you make the table? Which one do you put vertically and which one do you put horizontally? That's a question, right? For example, if I want to make a table, this is the table that I want to make. Okay. Now, I need to know whether I need to put Gambhir, Haseen and Lehenga, whether I need to put them here. And then do I put Thursday, Friday and Saturday here? Or should it be the other way around, where I perhaps put the movies here and the dates in the other place? This is a very important question. You should always pause to think about this once. Okay. So the construction of the table is very important. I think you might appreciate that, let us say we have a festival. The festival is on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Now each of these festivals definitely has 3 slots, right? A movie may or may not be shown in a certain slot, but I think we have a total of 9 slots. How do I know that we have 9 slots? Because you know that no movie can be shown more than once, which means that you definitely cannot have a 4th slot, right? And so this is the maximum number of movies that we can have. Let us say for example on Thursday, if Gambhir, Haseen as well as Lehenga are shown, for example, this does not violate any of the rules that is given here. It is in accordance with those rules. So I know that there are a maximum of only 3 possible shows per day. Perhaps not all films are shown. Now we look at the rules further. Okay, I think this is how I hope you've understood that once you've made this matrix, you will then fill in these places the movies depending on what the rules are. Okay, so let's see what we see here. Let's look at the first condition. It says that on Thursday, Haseen is shown and no film is shown after it on that day. Now perhaps it is possible that Haseen is shown in the morning, in the beginning itself, and thereafter no movie is shown, or perhaps it is shown in the second session and thereafter no movie is shown, or in the last session. Now for the sake of convenience, let us think that when something is shown at the end, which means if Haseen is the last show, let us just for the sake of convenience place it at the end. So let us say Haseen is placed here. Next, it says on Friday, either Gambhir or Lehenga, but not both, which means that if Gambhir is shown, Lehenga is not shown. If Lehenga is shown, then Gambhir is not shown. That's what it means. That either of these is shown, but not both. And no film is shown after it on that day, which means again this thing is at the end. It's the last position. So what I'll do here is I'll write Gambhir or Lehenga because those will be at the end. Okay. Next, we look at Saturday. On Saturday, either Gambhir or Haseen, but not both, is shown and no film is shown after that day. So I think we can very easily write Gambhir or Haseen. So now on the basis of just this material, on the basis of what we've seen here, right, we have our initial preliminary table. So on the basis of these rules, which are common, now this table that we've just made here, this applies commonly to all the questions. So we should start every question with this starting point. Okay. So now we'll go to the questions one by one. So let us start with question number 6. So let us begin with our common set of rules. So as you know that we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we have Haseen at the end here. We have Gambhir or Lehenga at the end, and here we have either Gambhir or Haseen. So it says which of the following could be a complete and accurate description of the order in which films are shown at the festival, which means that out of these 3 options are wrong and 1 option is right. So let us go option by option. Let's first see as to what option A says. Option A says that on Thursday you have Lehenga, then you have Haseen, which works because we know that Haseen has to be at the end. That is a possible combination. Then it says that on Friday we show Lehenga. Now you know that either Gambhir or Lehenga will be shown and it will be at the end. So if Lehenga is shown, it means Gambhir will not be shown. Okay, no problem. So we do that. Then we go to Saturday, and Saturday says you will have Haseen. That will obviously be at the end. So it means there is no Gambhir here. Now is there a problem with this? Yes, there is a problem. As you can see only Lehenga and Haseen here in this option A. But in the film festival, every film has to be shown once, which means Gambhir is not shown. Since Gambhir is not shown in this present set of rules, therefore I will eliminate option A. So A is not a possibility. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at the next option. Before I go to the next option, I bring this set of rules back to how it was when we started. So basically you started off with Gambhir and Lehenga as a choice. Gambhir and Lehenga. Now let's look at option B. Now option B says that on Thursday you have Haseen, right? On Friday you have Gambhir and then Lehenga. That's not possible. We know that only one of these can be shown, which means this is also wrong. So I eliminate the option B as well. Now we look at option C. Option C says that on Thursday you will have Haseen, alright. Then on Friday you have Lehenga. Okay, if you have Lehenga, that means you don't have Gambhir. Okay. And Saturday you have Lehenga and then Gambhir, which means you do not have Haseen. So now this looks like a good combination because you have Haseen at the end, you have the rule for Friday, which is that Lehenga is at the end and there is no Gambhir, and then you have Lehenga and Gambhir here. It satisfies the rules that no one movie is played twice on a given day, and you've got your all three movies also. So at this point C looks like a good option, so I will keep it, but we will still have to cross check. So let's also see what option D gives us. In case option D is wrong, then we are sure that we found the right answer in option C. Now let's have a look at option D. Option D says that on Thursday you have Gambhir, then Haseen, and then Lehenga. So you know immediately that this is wrong, because on Thursday you know that Haseen has to be the last show, which means there can be nothing after Haseen, and therefore even option D is eliminated, thereby giving us the right answer, option C, for question number 6. Let's move on to our next question. So we're done with question number 6. Now we go to question number 7. As always, we start with our starting point, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have your 3 slots. Okay, and we know that at the end here we have Haseen, here we have Gambhir or Lehenga, here we have Gambhir or Haseen. Okay, so now your question says which of the following cannot be true. What that means is that which of these is not possible, right? So out of these 4 options, 3 of these are possible. That's what that means. 3 of these are possible and 1 of them is not possible. So we have to find out that one option which is not possible. Okay, so we'll look at them again option by option. Let's look at option A. Option A says that Haseen is the last film shown on each day. So we start with Thursday. Okay, Haseen can be the last film on Thursday. That's okay. On Friday, well, the last film has to be either Gambhir or it has to be Lehenga. So obviously it cannot be Haseen, and that itself lets us know that this is the answer. But then just to cross check, let's have a look at the other options as well. So the next option is that Lehenga is shown on each day of the festival. Yes, Lehenga can be shown on each day. Let us say I can put Lehenga here. I can put Lehenga here. Then you can have Lehenga on Friday and you can also have Lehenga on Saturday. So there is no issue. So option B is not the answer because option B is completely possible. And in this question we have to see as to what is not possible, what cannot be true, right? So then we look at option C. Option C says that Gambhir is shown second on each day of the festival. So let us say Gambhir, can it be shown here? Yes, of course. Can Gambhir be shown here? Yes, if Gambhir is shown here, it means that this is the last day, this is the last show, which means this will not happen and this will not happen, but this is possible. Similarly, can you have Gambhir here? Yes, you can. Just that the third show will not be the last show. Your second show becomes the last show, and then of course you will not have Haseen showed on this day. You will not have Lehenga shown on this day. Alright. So even C is possible, B is also possible. Finally, we look at option D. A different first film is shown on each day of the festival, on the first day. So a different film is shown first, which means that can you have a different film for these 3 days on the first slot? Yes, you can. Let us say if I put Lehenga here, that is possible. If I put Haseen here, that's possible. And also what I can do is I can put Gambhir here in the beginning. Now if Gambhir goes to the beginning, it means it's the last show. Alright, no problem. If it is the last show, no problem. We've still got all our 3 movies, which means that the conditions that are required have been satisfied. So even this is possible. Therefore, A is very clearly the answer. Let's move to our next question. So now we've done 6, we've done 7. Now we look at question number 8. Alright, let's have a look at question number 8. What question number 8 says, that if lehenga is never shown once Gambhir is shown. What that means is you have Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Let's say if Gambhir is shown on Thursday, what that means is that after Gambhir is shown, you cannot have lehenga on these 2 days, right? That's what that means. What that also means is, let's say for example, if Gambhir is shown on Friday, okay, it means you cannot have lehenga shown on Saturday, but you can have lehenga before it, because it only says that lehenga will not be shown once Gambhir is shown. Similarly, let us say Gambhir is shown first on Saturday. If Gambhir is first shown on Saturday, it means there is no day left where lehenga cannot be shown, which means that the effect of showing Gambhir is the least on lehenga. So the effect of showing Gambhir on removing lehenga is the least if it is shown on Saturday. I hope you can understand this point. Now let's have a look at the question. The question says that which one of the following is the maximum number of film showings that can occur during the festival? Now what do you mean by film showings? As you know, we've seen that there are a total of 9 possible slots. That means this is the maximum possible number, 9. So if you can see the options, each of these options is less than 9. Let us say you had some options like 10, 11, 12 or something. Then you could have just seen that since these are more than 9, you could have eliminated them. But in this case, the options are small. So we will have to do some amount of work. We will have to calculate and decide as to what the right answer is. So now what we are trying to say is that if this condition is followed, now what do you mean by having a maximum showing of 3? Let me give you an example. See, we know that Haseen has to be at the end of Thursday, but instead of showing the last show, if Haseen is shown in the beginning, what that means is that on Thursday we will have only 1 show, because after Haseen there can be nothing else. Similarly, let us say on Friday you have a choice of Gambhir or lehenga. Let us say I show lehenga. If lehenga is shown, it means this is the last show. It means again these will not happen. Likewise, it is possible for me to make only 1 show on Saturday, Gambhir. I can put Gambhir here and thereafter there are no shows. Which means that although a maximum of 3 is possible, in this case the total number of shows is only 3. So now our question is that once this condition is followed, what is the maximum number of total showings that is possible, right? Now we just seen that if Gambhir is shown in the beginning, it causes you to have no shows of lehenga. So if we want to maximize the number of film showings in total, it means we should try to keep Gambhir for the end, because if Gambhir is kept at the end, it means lehenga can be shown everywhere. If lehenga can be shown everywhere, it means the total number of films can be higher. So this will be our strategy. Let us try to see as to what is the possible combination when we keep Gambhir at the end, which means we do not show Gambhir on Thursday and Friday. This is our strategy, right? So let us say we start off here. So we have Haseen at the end. I do not put Gambhir here. We do not put Gambhir here. Let us say we have to choose between Haseen and Gambhir. So here we'll have, obviously let's choose Gambhir. If we choose Gambhir, it means we cannot have Haseen, which means that in these 2 positions also we cannot have Haseen. Here you cannot have Haseen. Now let's see how many maximum possible slots are here. Okay, so you cannot have Gambhir here, you cannot have Gambhir here. which means there is only one more possibility here, which means I can have lehenga on Thursday, which means I can have lehenga as well as Haseen on Thursday. So that's total of 2 on Thursday. Again on Friday you can't have lehenga, you can't have Gambhir because we have kept Gambhir only for Saturday, which means that I can have lehenga, and since lehenga will have to be at the end because on Friday lehenga and Gambhir are at the end, I can also have Haseen before that. So that's another 2. Now on Saturday, these 2 positions cannot be Haseen, but they can be lehenga. One of them can be lehenga, which means again we have 2. So now we have tried to maximize it, and when we tried to maximize the total number of shows, what we got is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and therefore the answer to this question is option D, 6. So we are done with 6, 7 and 8, and now we go for question number 9. As always, we start off with the data that is common to all of the questions. So you know that you have these positions here, and on Thursday you have Haseen, on Friday you have either Gambhir or lehenga, and on Saturday you have either Gambhir or Haseen. Now we have a look at this problem, the stem of the question. This is called the question stem, by the way, and these are the options. Okay, so we look at the question stem. It says that Gambhir is shown exactly 3 times. Now I hope you realize that if Gambhir is shown 3 times, Gambhir cannot be shown 3 times on one day. In fact, it cannot even be shown twice on one day. It can only be shown once on one day, which means that Gambhir has been shown on all 3 days, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, right? So let us see as to how we can fit in this data. Alright, so we've got some data from this that Gambhir is shown on all 3 days. So let us see how this plays out by fitting this in this matrix. Let us say I put Gambhir here on Thursday. I don't know whether it's the first position or the second position. All I know is that it has to be before Haseen because Haseen is the final one. Okay, so then I have placed Gambhir here. Now I need to put Gambhir on Friday. Now Gambhir on Friday will have to be in the last position only because this will have to be either Gambhir or lehenga. Also, if Gambhir is here, it means that lehenga is not shown that day. So these 2 positions cannot be lehenga. They could be Haseen, but they cannot be lehenga. Likewise, if Gambhir has to be shown on Saturday, it means it will be shown in the last position here. And then these 2 positions cannot be Haseen. Now let's look at the next information that is given to us in the question. It says that Haseen is shown exactly twice. Now, Haseen is already shown once on Thursday. This is what we already know. So Haseen has already been shown here on Thursday, right? So here we already have Haseen on Thursday. Apart from that, it has to be shown once more. Now, that once more of Haseen cannot happen on Saturday because on Saturday you cannot have Haseen, which means Haseen will have to be shown on Friday. So let's enter that. So we know that Haseen cannot be shown on Saturday. Haseen will have to be shown on Friday. So we have, let's say we have Haseen here. Again, I don't know whether Haseen is in the first position or the second position, but that doesn't matter. It's just before Gambhir. Okay. We've entered the data from this one. Haseen is shown exactly twice. So you've got your first Haseen here. This is your first Haseen and this is your second Haseen. Now let's see what we see about lehenga. So it says that lehenga is shown exactly once. Lehenga is shown exactly once. Now, where can lehenga be? Before that, we know where lehenga cannot be. So lehenga cannot be on Friday. So we know that we will not put lehenga on Friday. That leaves us with 2 options for putting lehenga. Either we can put lehenga here on Thursday or we can put it on Saturday. Okay. So let us say there are 2 choices. Either lehenga is here or lehenga is here. But that's an or. Remember, lehenga has to be at only one position. Either this or it will be this. So now that we've got all the data from the question, let's have a look at the options. Okay, remember here lehenga is not at both places, it is only at one of the two places. So which one of the following must be true? Which means when you are asked as to which one must be true, it means that that if it is possible for this not to be true, then it will not be the option. It will not be the answer. Let's first look at option A. All three films are shown on Thursday. Well, if I look at this one here, you can see Lehenga, Gambhir and Haseen. But can I say that this must be true? No, I cannot say that this must be true, because Lehenga can be here or it can be on Saturday. So it's possible that Lehenga may be here on Saturday and there might be no Lehenga on Thursday, which means I cannot say that all three films are shown on Thursday. It's possible, maybe it's possible, maybe it's not, which means that I cannot say that it must be true. Therefore, I will eliminate option A. Now I go to option B. It says exactly two films are shown on Saturday. Now, as you can see here, there is Lehenga and there is Gambhir. This is exactly two, which is true. But again, like with the option A, it is possible that Lehenga is shown on Thursday, which means that Lehenga is not shown on Saturday. That means there is only one film that is shown on Saturday, which is Gambhir, which means that I cannot say with certainty that exactly two films are shown on Saturday, right? Which means I will eliminate option B as well. Now we look at option C. Haseen and Gambhir both shown on Friday. So I look at Friday here, I can see Haseen and I can see Gambhir. So as of now, C looks like the right answer. Now let's go and have a look at option D, Gambhir. Option D. It says that Gambhir is the only film shown on Saturday. Well, again, it is possible that Gambhir could be the only show, but it is also possible that Lehenga is shown, because Lehenga could be here or Lehenga could be here. So I cannot say that it must be true that only one film is shown on Saturday. Therefore, I will eliminate option D. So C is the right answer. It's very important for you to understand the meaning of this word must, right? If you do not appreciate the meaning of this word, then you will get this question wrong. So analytical reasoning is about being able to respect the word and the meaning of the word. There's a difference between something being true, that something must be true, and between something that may be true. This is a case where you're looking at something which must be true in all situations. All right, we'll go to the last question now. So we've done question 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now it's time for question number 10. If you remember, in analytical reasoning, the most important thing is to be able to understand the precise meaning of words. Okay? You do not need to be a master of vocabulary. You don't need to know a lot of words. You don't need a lot of knowledge. But then it is very important for you to understand the precise and exact meaning of words. And this will be tested in this question. I actually urge you to try to solve this question by your own self before listening to my explanation. There's a lot to learn from this question, alright? So as you can see, this question is similar to the previous question in the sense that you see exactly 3 times, exactly twice, and exactly once. This is similar to the previous question, so I'll fill in this thing a little quickly. So you have Thursday, you have Friday, and you have Saturday, okay? And these are your slots here. And I will fill in what we know, which is Haseen. You have either Gambhir or Lehenga. Here you have either Gambhir or Haseen. So here you're told that Lehenga is shown 3 times. If Lehenga is shown 3 times, it means that perhaps Lehenga will be once here on Thursday. Lehenga will also have to be shown on Friday, which means that it will be shown here. And then you know that if Lehenga is shown, then these 2 positions cannot be Gambhir. That's the other thing that we know. Then we know that Lehenga will also be shown on Saturday. So let us say Lehenga is shown here on Saturday. So you've got your 3 Lehengas. Okay. Next, it says that Haseen is shown exactly twice, which means that Haseen is shown once here. Now Haseen may be shown either on Friday or on Saturday. So Haseen may be here, either the first position or the second position, I don't know, so I'll just place it here. Or Haseen may be, or Haseen may be here. If Haseen is here, then you should remember that Gambhir will not be possible. We have to keep quite a lot of data in our head this time, and this is what you should practice, because you need to be able to keep some amount of data in your head. Okay, and then it says that Gambhir is shown exactly once. Now you see, Gambhir is not shown on Friday. Okay, now if Gambhir is shown on Thursday, that's possible. Okay, if Gambhir is shown on Thursday, that means Gambhir will not be shown on Saturday and Haseen would be shown on Saturday. Now, as you can see, you don't have a very clear picture in your head, but you are not here to get a clear picture. You are here to solve the question, and therefore now we look at the question. Perhaps we know enough to be able to solve the question. First, let's understand as to what the question says. The question asks you that if Gambhir, Lehenga and Haseen are shown a certain number of times, then which one of the following, look at the question, it's very important to understand the question. It says then which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of the films of the first film shown on Saturday. Now what is the meaning of this? Your question is asking you as to which of the following is a complete and accurate list of the films that could be the first film on Thursday. So let us say you have this slot here, the slot on Thursday. All right, so you have, let's write it again here. Okay, so you have Thursday, you have Friday and your Saturday. Each one of these has a first, second and third slot. Now what the question is asking you is, what are the possibilities? Okay, what are the possible outcomes? What are the possible movies that you can have on the first show of Thursday? Now it's very simple. You only have to focus your attention here, which means you don't need to focus your attention on these places, right? So what you don't know does not matter. Now, on Thursday, either Gambhir can be the first show and Lehenga can be the second show, or Lehenga can be the first show and Gambhir can be the second show, which means that the first show could either be Gambhir or it could be Lehenga. These are the possibilities, and therefore what we can say is that the complete list of the possibilities, which is complete and accurate, is option D, Gambhir and Lehenga. So as you can see, this was a very simple question. You should not get scared of the fact that you did not know the whole thing, because you are not here to know the whole thing. You are just here to answer the question. Just feed in the data that you get in the question stem and then confidently look at the question. You'd invariably be able to solve it. Analytical reasoning questions are generally quite straightforward as long as you are focused and you stick to the accurate meaning of the words. I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask them in the comment section and I'd be happy to respond. I wish you all the best. Thank you.